Hi, this is Vicki with My Paper Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and today we're going to make this fun tropical card. I'm using Timeless Tropical Stamp Set and the dies, along with the Coastal Weave and 3D Embossing Folder, and I'm using the Designer Series paper and the braided burlap for this project. It's so colorful and so pretty. It makes me want to go somewhere tropical, to be honest. Escape all the craziness that's out there during March 31st, 2020 with the quarantine and pandemic and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started playing, and hopefully this will bring a little bit of sunlight to you too. For my project, I'm using thick Whisper White cardstock. It is cut at 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. But don't worry about that. If you've watched my videos, you know that all of my sizes and all the supplies that I use will be listed in my blog, and I will put the name of my website across the screen so you can't miss it. For the card front, I'm using Daffodil Delight. That's just so sunny and fun. Then I'm using this piece of Designer Series paper from the Tropical Suite, along with a piece of crumb cake, and then, as I mentioned before, the fun little braided burlap. So the first thing I'm going to do is to get my stamping done, and I'm bringing in black Memento ink and my stamps and just some scrap paper. So just for a tip, anytime you have a stamp that's larger than your stamp pad, I like to just stamp it like this, especially with the Memento black. It just seems a lot easier to get good coverage with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that. Then I'm going to bring in my plumeria, which is such a pretty flower. Stamp that and my leaf. I don't like that leaf. It seems a little too uneven. There. Nope, I still don't like that. I think I re-inked my stamp pad recently. I probably need to move it around. That's much better. I wanted a nice, more of an even though it's a little darker right there, it'll be all right. The next thing I'm going to do is to color my images, and I'm going to go ahead and color the, I guess you call that the stamen of the hibiscus, and I'm using Mango Melody for that. I am actually, this is my second time coloring this one today because I made the mistake. I had my mind on other things while I was doing it, and I made the mistake of coloring the stamen and everything red earlier, so I had to start over. So I'm just going to use the light and dark Mango Melody. Then I'm just going to bring the lighter back in and just move that dark around to make it blend. All right, so I'm going to do light and dark real red for the hibiscus. I'm going to use light and dark Mango Melody for the plumeria, and for the leaf I'm going to use Old Olive light and dark. And what I will do, because I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward while I'm doing it, is I'll start out with the light. I'll come back and I'll hit up these little accent marks and things, the detail with the darker color, and then I'll come back over it with the light and blend it all together. Okay, so let's get started. I finished all of my coloring, and I brought my die cutting machine in, and now I'm going to go ahead and cut out those images using my die cuts. So I'm bringing in my hibiscus, and it's important to make sure that you have it in the have it set so that it covers all of the pieces and it's in the right direction and everything. Okay. I don't know if you saw that jiggle there. I have a magnetic base, and I have to move it around sometimes because the polarity of it will want it to shift. All right, so I'm just going to run this through. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm bringing in my Big Shot platform minus the thin adapter, and I'm also bringing in my Coastal Weave embossing folder. There's a line right here, and you just open it up, slip your paper inside in whichever direction you're going to want it to go, line it up with that line, and then I like to, once I get it lined up, I like to pinch it like that, and you're going to want the spine of your embossing folder to be what goes in first. And look how pretty that is. Okay, we're going to do this last little bit of stamping, and then we're going to put our card together. So I brought in a little strip of paper. This is just a strip that whenever I'm cutting whisper white to go on the insides of my cards, this is left over a lot of times. And I like to keep it because you never know when you're going to use it. Okay, so I'm going to put all of my pieces together now. And what I'm going to do is to glue this down first onto my Coastal Weave paper. I actually came up with the design of this card by using a card sketch. Sometimes, you know, you get a little bit short on creativity and you're wondering, okay, what can I make now? Well, I look on Pinterest and I will look at different card sketches, and then I will just change the different colors up, and I'll make a card designed off of the card sketch. And this was one of the sketches that I found. I think it had a circle here and then a small thing right here, and I just modified it. Okay, so I'm going to use my burlap now, my braided burlap. And normally I would take my ribbon and I would put a glue dot on the back, bring it around, and then put a glue dot back here and secure it like that. But because this braided burlap is so thick, it would really pop it up off of the card, and it would probably have a hump and you could see it. So what I did was I just cut it the size of the crumb cake. And the best way that I find to secure it in place is to take tear and tape and to just place it across the crumb cake where you want it to be, and then just tear it off. I tried to put it on here once before, and it pulls up when you try to take the backing off. So you just seal it down really well, and then grab hold of it like that, and then you just lay your burlap right down on top of that strip like that, and it's in place. All right, so for my flowers and my leaves, my leaf I'm going to just glue into place, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my flowers and everything after that. But my flowers I'm actually going to pop up with dimensionals, and I will place my hibiscus in place first. Okay, I fast forwarded up through me putting this on, but you probably saw me lift it back up, and you probably see that it's lower down than this one. The reason I did that was the place where the dimensionals were, it was landing on this, and it was making it stand up a little bit more than I wanted it to. So when you put that on, keep in mind of where that burlap is so that you don't end up putting it in the wrong, so you don't end up having too much of it popped up. Does that make sense? I hope so. All right. Okay, I wanted my burlap to show, so that's why I did that. Lifted it up and set it back down. So now I'm just going to trim my hello sign. I'm going to pop it up as well with dimensionals. And I'm just going to place it up here. Let's see. I think I'm going to just kind of have it off the side right there. And then I'm just going to glue it onto to my card base. And when you're using a embossed panel, you want to use Tombow if you can, because it's raised in different areas and it will tend to not want to stick if you don't. All right, so the last thing I'm going to do is to embellish it. So I'm just going to bring in, these are from the Noble Peacock. So I'm just bringing in the little green one. Y'all, our humidity is something else, and I just can't seem to pick them up with my take your pick tool. I chase them all over the place, so I'm just going to do it like that instead. Just put a little green one in there. And then I'm going to use the Tropical Oasis trinkets. And I'm going to use a glue dot. I'm just going to pick up, I think I'm going to use the leaf. I haven't used the leaf yet. And so you just place it down on the glue dot, lift it up, and then just put it in place. Ooh, I like that. I like that. It's really cute. I might shift it just a little bit. There we go. Ooh, I like that better. Ah, isn't that a beautiful card? It's such a fun and inviting card. It makes me want to go somewhere tropical, for sure. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would love to see your creations as well. I value any comments or any questions. If you make a comment, if you give me a thumbs up, I will be happy to reply. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Please ring the bell, and then you'll get notice when I have other videos come out. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great day.